Welcome to Park Center High School for Northwest Suburban Conference football. It's homecoming night for the Pirates tonight as they welcome the Armstrong Falcons into Brooklyn Park. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock. And Bill, Park Center did get a win in their non-conference game against St. Francis a couple weeks back, but overall it's been certainly a tough year for both these teams. New coach at Armstrong this year with Dave Frizzell, but the exciting part of it for both of them is they come in tonight going, okay, this is a team that we at least can match up with. We're not going to be run off the field maybe like Park Center was against Totino Grace last week or Armstrong was against Wayzata.
Exactly. Both teams got to believe that they're coming in even Steven. They're playing in the conference, so it's a nice conference matchup for both teams. Both teams believe that they've got the matchups that they need to be successful, so it's going to be how you play it out. Who makes the mistakes, who makes the big plays is what's going to determine the outcome.
Both of these teams have certainly struggled defensively, giving up a lot of points, and you have to be looking at, kind of taking small steps to shore that up. Stay with your plan, stay in your lanes, and not give up those big plays is really going to be a key, I think, for both of them tonight.
That's exactly it, Jay. The key to building your defense is don't give up the big plays. Limit the 20-plus plays, 20-yard-plus plays. Try to make turnovers. I mean, everybody wants to make turnovers, but doing it is something else. But if they can stay within themselves and try to improve on every play, then they're going to be in pretty good shape. Whoever does that first is going to be in the driver's seat, I think.
Tell you about key players to keep an eye on in tonight's contest, starting with the visitors from Armstrong. They can throw the ball pretty well when everybody's healthy. Connor Getchie is one of those big receivers that's kind of in vogue right now. It's nice to have a big target like that.
Absolutely. We've seen a couple of other teams with big receivers, and they are a real advantage. They can reach a lot of balls. If they've got decent speed, then they're going to be able to get there. I was looking at the warm-ups, and Connor Getchie's a good-sized kid. They list him at 6'4", 190, and if he's 190, I don't know, he looks a lot bigger than that. But I think that's a real key, and they've got a good quarterback. Quinn Frizzell can throw the ball well, and they've got 4 receivers who are going to fly all over the place. So it'll be an interesting offense for the Pirates to try to control.
And for Park Center, their coach, Ricky Foggy, really didn't hesitate in saying if we get Antoine Scott going, we can be an effective offense. He's a tough runner.
Right, and he's got 2 quarterbacks he's going to shuffle in and out, and they're going to throw the ball when they can. But as he said, the key is Antoine Scott. He's a big, strong running back, 205 pounds, decent speed, can break away. And the key to the offense is him getting 3, 4, 5, 6 yards at a crack and maybe breaking off a 15 or 18-yarder now and again.
All right, somebody's got to get a conference win here tonight. Both these teams very eager to do so. It is Armstrong and Park Center coming up next here on 12 Sports.
Life in the oceans depends on you. Do your part to keep them clean. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
What are you doing, dear?
My finances. Every week I divide my allowance,
some to spend, some to charity. But the first thing I do is set aside 10% to save for my future.
That's awfully grown up. Did you learn that in school?
No, Dad taught me. He said if you want something tomorrow, you have to save today. Dad's saving for retirement. I'm saving for a new bike.
Choose to save. To learn how to get started, get your free Power to Choose brochure.
He's a smart man, your father.
And welcome back to Park Center as we get set to kick it off on a beautiful early evening here. If you're watching live here with us Friday night, the Pirates homecoming contest here against Armstrong. And Bill, I guess you'd have to say no disrespect to Armstrong, but a good job of scheduling a homecoming opponent that you have a decent chance against. That's always a good thing if you're the home team in this situation.
Absolutely, that's what you try to do. You want to have a win. If you can guarantee it, then that's what you do with your homecoming game.
Both teams talked about some of the things that they need to do to get a W here tonight, and limit big plays, as we said in the pregame, was certainly something that came first to mind. Dave Frizzell, the Armstrong coach, told us if we can make them drive the ball rather than pop one or pop two and put it in the end zone on us, and not only does it make it harder for the offense to score, but I think it boosts the confidence of your kids a little bit too when you're able to not have to hang your head after, oh, there's another long gainer, right. Oh, here we go again type thing.
And the confidence builder is if your defense is struggling and you make the offense, go 8, 10, 12 plays in order to try to score, you've got a much better chance that the offense is going to make a mistake at some place along the line there.
Armstrong will kick off. It will be Michael Elder kicking it away. Back deep for the Pirates, Armani Hooker, number 24, along with number 12. And they go with the onside kick to start it out. A big scramble. Armstrong thinking they've got it. Haven't seen a signal yet, but the Falcons are all pretty confident that they were able to get on this one. Whoa, how do you like that for a way to start the football game? And it is Armstrong football.
Yeah, I thought they covered it pretty well. The front man from the Pirates had the ball bobble around his feet.
Jeremiah Thayer will end up getting the recovery here for Armstrong. Yep, right off the knee. And second guy in for Armstrong, number 42, Thayer, one of their captains, gets it, the linebacker. So good field position here for Armstrong on the 45 of Park Center. First down and 10 for Quinn Frizzell and crew. Of course, he came up with his dad from Mankato. Was a starter down there at Mankato East a year ago as a sophomore. Been banged up. He's played a couple games. 4 receivers set here for Armstrong, although interestingly, coach said we need to be able to run the ball a little bit tonight too. They haven't run it very effectively this year, but they get a pretty good run on first down as Jerome Burns with the carry for the Falcons, and he rips off nearly 10. He'll get 9 on that first down carry.
It was a nice run, just a basic handoff from Frizzell to Burns and run right off the left side of the offensive line and gain 9. That's exactly what Coach Frizzell was hoping for, especially with this spread offense and a single running back. You really don't have a lot of options back there, and it's hard to develop a power running game.
So second down and a yard now. Give is to Burns again. Big hole to run through here, and then he takes a pretty good pop. Coming up to meet him there for the Pirates was Marcus Sumo, but he'll easily pick up the first down there. And so far, so good for Armstrong on the ground. It's always interesting that teams, you're talking about the spread offense, and we've got multiple receivers and we're spreading things out, but they still feel a need that running the football is still important.
Well, it's exactly that, Jay, because you have to hold the linebackers. You have to hold the linebackers and make them respect the running game. Otherwise, they're either just going to blitz you or they're going to blow out and cover the pass.
Play action this time, throw on target, and that'll be another first down for the Falcons as Carter Bielman hauls it in. It's going to be a pickup here. Well, I think it's a first down. It looks like it's inside the 20. Yes, it will be a gain of 11 for Armstrong on that completion by Frizzell.
You see they're setting up the passing game with the run, 2 successful runs to open the series with. Now we see a quick pitch.
Burns to the outside, flag is down. The receiver out there on the edge is going to be probably a hold or a block in the back as he was trying to seal that edge, and instead it just looked a little awkward, and the flag immediately flew.
Right, and Burns in the process of the play fumbled the ball, and turnover went to Park Center, so Park Center is going to get the ball back at about their own 20-yard line, 25-yard line. Watch the play. You'll see the hold as Burns changes direction right
about
there.
But then as he cuts it up, he keeps it in his right hand and gets it punched out. And then nice recovery made there by Emmanuel Thompson. So Park Center, they give up the onside kick to start it out, but then force a turnover. So the Pirates get the football now. Jake Tanner, their quarterback, Antoine Scott, the single back behind him. Give is to Scott on first down, and almost ran through that tackle, but able to hang on and bring him to the turf. There is Ethan Carpenter for Armstrong, but solid pickup of 4 on that first down play for Scott. We'll probably see a pretty heavy dose of him tonight, it sounds like.
I would think, and he's a fairly good sized running back at 6'1", 205 pounds. So that's a nice sized back to have.
And flag down here before they can get this one going, and a procedure penalty against Park Center.
Make a 2nd and 10 or a little bit more, 2nd and about 11, closer to 11.
Joe Moline is on the sideline with us tonight, and we'll be hearing from him tonight, and as well as we'll get a chance to visit with the coaches at halftime here. So 2nd and 11 after that pre-snap penalty here on the Pirates. Give to Scott, avoids a tackler early now, getting to the outside. And Scott ridden down by a host of Falcons, but not until he's crossed over the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
Coach Foggy said that Antoine Scott is a physical runner. We'll see it towards the end of the play as he gets around the flank and takes on the corner. He lowered his shoulders, kept his shoulders over his toes, and really punished the cornerback coming up to make the tackle.
So first down from the Pirates 33 as they get their first down of the night. Toss back going to Scott. Shrugged off the first tackler, but there's too many guys there to get around as he's brought down by Jordan Grohl for Armstrong, the 6'4", 245-pounder. And that'll be a loss on the play, and a pretty sizable loss of about 6. You hate to have a running play that loses you that much.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to establish a running game. And that quick pitch that's a tough one when you got a single back, because it's very hard to get somebody out to lead there.
Tanner dropping to throw, fires, and it is complete as he hits Joe Davis. Now they didn't get a first down, but he got a lot of that yardage back.
They got out to nearly the 40-yard line. You see Davis making a nice catch.
Picked up 11 on the play, and it makes it a much more manageable third down now. 3rd and about 4 out at the 39-yard line here for the Pirates. Tanner will give it to Scott. Scott hit early, but might have enough, it appears, certainly with that little spin, and he will have the first down out to the 44.
A little spin and lunge right at the end of the play gets the Pirates a first down there.
So first down Pirates here on their 43, but we're going to have a quick timeout taken instead. And Ricky Foggy will make his way out to talk with his unit. There's a look at Coach Foggy. Of course, he was, I got to still rank him among my top 10 favorite Gophers ever. He was an excellent option quarterback in the mid-'80s for the Gophers, and now in his 2nd year with the Pirates. And, you know, certainly these programs, we said, both have struggled some, and with that, you generally, it's kind of what came first, struggling or coaching turnover, and you get a little bit of each. And Armstrong going through some growing pains now with Dave Frizzell taking over this year, and things just get a little bit better that second year. Everybody knows what you want to do and get things in place.
And I think Ricky brings a good background. He had a very good playing career at the university, played a few years up in Canada, and he's coached around this area in a couple of places. So he's got a good feel for the game. He's got a very good knowledge of the game, and he brings some different kind of experience to the kids that he can share with them.
Interesting, last year we kind of joked with them about, did you guys all know who Ricky Foggy is? And I think for the most part the answer was, my dad knew who he was, but no, we were a little young to remember him as a player. Pass complete out in the flat, but Armstrong is all over that as they hit DeJuan Williams with the completion, but it's not really going to gain the Pirates much of anything, maybe a short loss even on the play.
A good hustle by the defensive backs there, getting through, and Chris Hagen making a nice hit and grab to keep the play in front of him. Little or no gain on that, so it'll be at 2nd and 10.
Tanner giving to Scott, this time with a fullback in front of him, and has his legs cut out from underneath him there. I believe that was Jesse Casisto getting up to get a piece of him, but Scott still falling forward for a gain of nearly 5 on the play.
Yeah, he gets a pretty good leap, but if that linebacker Casisto doesn't take his legs out, he's going for another 8 or 10 yards before anybody can close on him.
Tanner will come back to Scott, and he is not going to get there, and not even close, as he has met there. Casisto getting there first, but had plenty of help as well. Armstrong flowing to the ball very well, and a loss of 1, and brings up what would appear to be a punting situation now for the Pirates.
Yeah, that last play was a tough one. The third and relatively long.
Chris Madsen on to punt.
You really, in a play like that, you really have the offensive line has to get off the mark and get into the defense and make it happen.
Good rush on. It's a short high kick. James Morris coming up to field it for the Falcons, and no fair catch there, and he is wrapped up immediately and brought down by Clayton Red, but did make the catch, and they will have decent field position out at about the 22-yard line with their second possession of the night. If you're just joining us here, Armstrong on the opening kickoff went with the onside kick and got it, but turned the ball over after what looked like a pretty promising drive into Park Center territory and ended up fumbling it away. So they will get their second crack at it, but looked pretty good on their first few plays anyway.
Yes, they did.
Quinn Frizzell working out of the shotgun here for the Falcons. Looking to throw on first down, pass complete over the middle as he has Bielman. And Bielman, a nice gainer all the way out to the 43, a pickup of 20 on first down. They like to use a lot of three-step drop and get the ball out, and it worked very well there.
And we're already back in the back ready to go.
Frizzell throwing to the outside to Getchy this time, wrapped up immediately there and dragged down by Amani Hooker, but there's a look at Dave Frizzell. As we said, previous coaching stops, Mankato East, along with Bloomington Kennedy and St. Francis. Out into the flat. This is close to being a lateral, but they rule it a forward pass. Good alert play by Bielman to make sure he got on that one, because it was not that far from being a lateral.
And the Park Center guys were all over it too, both from a tackling standpoint and being aware of where the ball was.
So it should be third down coming up here. And I think they're going to have to stop it. Yeah, they hadn't moved the down marker there. Officials conferring. It's clearly third.
That's good. They stopped the clock. They made sure that everybody was on the same down.
And on third down, they'll go to the ground, and they will pick up that first down as a handoff going to Curtis Wilson there.
Wilson does a nice job of getting the first down, hitting right off the right in the middle, right off the center and the left guard. Gets into the linebacker zone, gets a good gain, puts the ball down to the 43-yard line of Park Center.
They go back to Curtis on the handoff. It is Wilson Curtis, not the other way around there. Sorry about that. And they'll pick up a short gain on this play. Second and long here for Armstrong. 2nd down and 9 for the Falcons. Frizzell fakes the handoff, now throwing the other way to Getchy. He's got it. He is chopped down early there by Hooker. He'll be short of the first down, just inside the 35.
Here we see the quick release and quick slant to Getchy. Nice play by Hooker.
So we'll leave Armstrong with a 3rd and about a long 2 here. Gonna go to the ground, and a nice little cutback as the defense overruns it, and this one down the sideline, or Hooker drags him out of bounds there. It's Curtis, another nice gainer there.
Here we see a nice turn left right there by Wilson Curtis as he gets upfield.
Picks up 17 on the play, and Armstrong on the march. Frizzell stepping up into the throw, and it is complete to Bielman. A good, a solid hit by Adam Burge right away. But they're down inside the Pirates' 10, and this one should be enough for a first down, I believe.
Yes, it is.
It'll be first down and goal. Paid the price, but held on.
Nice drive for Armstrong going here. They've done a good job mixing up the run and the pass. Now movement.
So Armstrong will be penalized here.
That's the second procedure penalty we've had, one on each team. Penalties can come into play in a closely matched game like this. Penalties can throw the game one way or the other.
Frizzell rolling to his left, throws on the run, and a flag is down. Ball batted away, but the D-back didn't have his head turned. Terrence Howard, I think, is going to be flagged for interference here.
Well, that's a tough one. It looked like he didn't make contact with the receiver until the ball was already there. You will see Frizzell sprinting out. And
I think we might get a better look on this one as Bielman waiting for it. Yeah, boy, it might have been the right call though. There's a handoff going to Curtis, and he weaves his way down inside the 5 to about the 3 or 4. What really hurt the Pirates too is that other one becomes an automatic first down.
Right. So they gave up a little bit of yardage, but they get it down to start over again.
Frizzell wants that fade out to Getchy, and he's well out of the end zone. Nice catch, but little
strong on the throw.
Yeah, a little too far out there as they got it in behind that back yellow line there, the soccer line. But
Armani Hooker has got his hands full. He's got a 6'4" guy, and he's like 5'8" or 5'9", and he's a freshman. So he's got his hands full with Getchy out there, and he's done a pretty good job.
Timeout taken here by the Pirates.
That's the Pirates' second timeout, I believe.
So interesting start to this one. Armstrong getting the early onside kick recovery, but then they fumble it away, and Park Center had a little bit of a drive going to their own, but that one stalled at midfield and had to punt it away, and now Armstrong has marched down the field in pretty impressive fashion, helped by that interference penalty in the end zone here, but now facing a 3rd down and goal to go. Interesting to see whether they go to the ground or to the air here.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them hand it off.
No, they've got a tight end and a wingback moving the wingback.
They go with the toss out. Curtis cutting it up, reaches, and did he get there? Not quite. Just short of the goal line. A nice stop, but would leave them in a spot where going for it is certainly a very strong option here, obviously.
About a 1 yard distance to get to the goal line.
Isaiah Brooks Malone stuck in there and held on, able to drag him down. So 4th down and goal to go here, and Frizzell will come up under center to take this one. Armstrong trying to punch it in. Park Center looking for the stop, and Park Center gets a stop. Middle of that Pirates defense wasn't going to budge. Sharon Holly-Lewis leading the charge there, number 55, but had a lot of help as well. And they are able to drive them back. Big stop there for Park Center. They had no penetration whatsoever.
You can see that the penetration comes all from the Pirates as they seal that hole and drive Wilson Curtis drive him back a yard and a half, and nice goal line stand. Well, that's a real emotional play for a defense. Yeah, you got the ball way back in your own zone, but you didn't give up anything.
Handoff goes to Scott, and he is met early there. Armstrong really selling out to play run there.
Yep.
And he will pick up a couple on the play.
Here you see the handoff, and nobody really got a shoulder on the defensive lineman. He was able to just step in and at least make an initial hit. Short gain of about 2 yards.
And Carpenter got the first contact, and then Jamal Sanders helping to finish him off there. Tanner will go back to Scott, bounces through the first guy, but then they drag him down after he crosses the 5. Working hard to pick up a couple more, it looks like. Yeah, not a bad thing here if you're Park Center, though. You're moving it a little bit.
Pretty conservative play calling. Just handing the ball off, particularly when you have a single back, and everybody on the defense pretty much knows where the ball is going to go. Be interesting to see if they try a play action pass, get a little fake of the run action, and see if they can loosen the secondary up a little bit.
Tanner looking to throw. He's in trouble, and down he goes in a heap. Boy, he was fortunate or lucky or skilled or a little of everything to hang on to that one in the middle of that pile as Peter Bateman, the first to get to him here, and did a good job to secure the ball.
Absolutely. It was good pass rush by Armstrong. The 2 ends getting in and making pretty good plays, and fortunately for Jake Tanner, he's able to hang on to the football. Like you said, I don't know if it's luck or skill, but at that point, it doesn't matter. He made the play.
Timeout taken here by Armstrong late in this quarter as Chris Madsen was getting set to punt. I wonder if they're, I don't know. I don't think the wind's strong enough to say maybe they wanted to make sure he had to punt this ball before the quarter change. But I'm not entirely sure if that was the case. Let's go down now sideline to Joe Moline.
Armstrong was going to run the ball on third down. They used that timeout because they had a poor substitution, but they really wanted to get a couple of big tackles in there that play offense only, but in that tough goal line situation, they got the big guys in there. Now you see Armstrong using a timeout here, really feeling like they have an advantage to be punting. I think the punter looking into the sun as well with that slight breeze, I think that's the reason for this timeout.
All right, thanks very much, Joe, and nice Joe down there in the middle of things and able to pick up on some of that stuff, of course, that we can't get up here, so we appreciate him being here tonight as well. And see if they'll come after Madsen or try and set up a return. A little bit of a rush, but not a whole lot. Short punt. Morris comes running up. Boy, that was, he's telling everybody to get away from him, and then he almost ran into it himself.
And he's got to be careful waving his arms like that. That can be easily misconstrued as a fair catch signal too.
It'll be about a 24-yard punt. And so can't get much better field position after a punt than this, as they'll be
really
at the 28-yard line of Park Center. Armstrong down to probably just one play left in the quarter, unless there's a penalty here. Beelman coming off the bench here now as Frizzell tells him where to get to here as this play gets underway. Frizzell tossing it out. Matt Jones, the catch in the flat, breaks a tackle. Jones down inside the 10, and it will be 1st and goal to go when we start the second quarter here for Armstrong. As a pickup of 19 after one quarter here tonight, it is Armstrong nothing, Park Center nothing. Back with more football here live on 12 Sports.
Smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Only you can prevent wildfires. Fire.
An 18-year-old has been charged with a shooting that critically injured another person.
Last week, one of the vehicles disappeared from this lot in plain sight. Ultimate goal is to develop an app that gives the visually impaired turn-by-turn directions.
Event organizers say many of the fences here were about 20 years old and were in need of replacing.
Hits this one well out to left field, and that one's going to be in for a hit. It bounces to the fence. A run scores. First down goal to go here for Armstrong. Give is to Curtis, and he is met and wrapped up. Holly Lewis, who made that huge stop on 4th and goal late in that first quarter, meets him chest high and wraps him up and drags him down for a loss of a yard on the play.
Sharon Holly Lewis, you see, does a real nice job of handling the offensive lineman, keeping his distance and reading where the back was going and making a very nice one-on-one tackle for no gain.
Frizzell looking out on the flat. Receiver was covered, so he'll tuck it up and run, and then he pays the price. There would look like a little room initially, but he's going to be stopped after a gain of about 2. Probably a pretty good idea. He wanted to go to the flat, but there was a lot of traffic there, and he saw, okay, this one's not really there, and only actually will get about a yard.
Yeah, that was a smart play by Quinn Frizzell, but he, like you said, Jay, he paid the price for running the ball. He got whacked pretty good by a couple of guys there.
Frizzell rolling out to his left. Now throwing for Beelman, but it's batted down. Getting up in the way is Terrence Howard to get a piece of that one. And it will be 4th down. Looks like the field goal unit is coming on here for Armstrong.
Here we'll see the sprint out to the defensive right. You see Frizzell coming in and Howard doing a very nice job of getting his hands up and his body in the way in the throwing lane and making a big play. So now have a field goal attempt.
Beelman the holder, Michael Elder kicking. Be a 26-yard attempt, and his kick is up, and it is good. So Armstrong will get on the board via the field goal here to start the scoring on a 26-yard field goal.
And Park Center's got a defense has to feel like, well, we made a couple of goal line stands here. I mean, giving up 3 points, but the starting spot was the 28-yard line for that possession. And they made 3 very nice plays once the ball got inside the 10-yard line. So now Park Center, they've got to take that momentum and they've got to get their offense going, or they're going to struggle here.
So the Pirates, a little bit of mixture there of, you feel good you held them to 3, but then again, on the other hand, they got a pretty good drive going against you. So, and if you're Armstrong, obviously you prefer the touchdown, but in high school football especially, field goals are no sure thing. It's a good weapon when you're able to have a guy that you do feel confident in. And, of course, tonight kicking on artificial turf and with very good weather conditions, too, it makes it a fairly easy decision to go for it.
Absolutely, and points are points. You want to, no matter what, you want to try to get points. And if you've got a respectable kicker, that's always a plus.
Elder will kick it off here, puts it on the ground again, and takes a big high hop. Fielded at the 20. And driven back at about the 26.
And again, that was a pretty interesting kickoff with the ball bouncing around. If you think that your opponent has pretty good speed at the return spot, you want to make sure that they don't get much of an opportunity to return. Banging the ball around on the ground like that is usually a pretty good idea, because the ball bounces funny. It's harder to handle off of the ground than it is in the air, and it takes the return man's eyes off of the kick coverage.
Tanner and crew with it at the 25. Pitch goes to Scott. Getting to the outside. He is met, though. Armstrong trying to rip at the football. So pickup of maybe 2 as Gloria Mutunda getting up there to meet him first as he chased that one all the way down around the edge. Scott's already carried it 9 times.
I'd like to see Scott, when he gets the ball out there in the open field like that, just use his speed and see if he can just outrun a few people. I think he was looking for a place to run rather than just running.
Tanner throwing, balls tipped, and a diving catch. Boy, nice job to stay with it there by Davis, even though it was deflected. I think a lot of people on the field were ready to think, just incompletion here, but he stayed with it and makes the catch.
We'll see this ball is tipped pretty well right at the line of scrimmage, and Davis stays with it. He slows his stride down so he can catch the ball off his back hip. Makes a very nice catch and a first down. Davis not the largest man in the world at 5'6", 130 pounds.
On the 40 now, first down for the Pirates. Handoff going to Scott. Some traffic early, but then he bounces it outside and gets a few blocks as he tight ropes down that sideline. Flag is down on the play, though. It's a ways into the run out there along that sideline near the Armstrong bench. Possibly a hold, you might think.
We got 7-8 yards downfield. That's usually the place where you're going to call a wide receiver for holding on a defensive back.
Man, it indeed is a hold on the Pirates. The good news for them is that it comes a ways down the field. And, of course, it's a spot foul, so it's not going to be as large of a penalty. But, oh, yeah, we did see one out to the edge there, looked like.
One of the pulling linemen got a pretty good grip on one of the defensive ends. And
yeah, I think there might have been a second one even closer to the where the play ended up that they ended up getting to. So back to the 37-yard line now. A good gainer wiped out there for the Pirates. Tanner handing it off. Nice tackle there made by Jamal Sanders, as that time the ball carrier Julius Ogunti.
A second down and about 8. Not a bad gain, but gain of about 4.
On the 41-yard line now, Tanner dropping to throw, and in and out of the hands there of Taylor Kurth. Not quite able to haul that one in. Put the ball in a pretty good spot here. Looked.
Yeah, that's a very catchable ball. You know, that's just one it's a little bit low. It's down between your knees and your ankles. You got to go down and get it, and it's a tough angle to try to make the play, but that's a catchable ball.
So 3rd and long here for the Pirates. Tanner throwing and incomplete. It gets through the hands of Clayton Red there. And it will bring up a punting situation here for the Pirates.
Well, that's a frustration for Clayton Red. You see, he knows that ball went right through his hands, right between his numbers and onto the floor, and that's always a tough thing to have happen to a receiver, especially when you've already got the first down pretty well lined up.
Morris waiting for Madsen's kick, but it's a low snap, and Madsen's going to run with it. There's a little bit of room, and Madsen is going to pick up the first down. Brought down from behind by Thayer, but not until he secures the first down for the Pirates. That was definitely not by design, but the snap came in low, and he realized he wasn't going to have time to get it away.
And he does a good job of getting around the flank, and there's nobody there defending the flank. As we can see, that Thayer makes the nice tackle, but Madsen does a nice job of getting out, getting the first down. 4th and about 9, and picks up 12 or 13.
17 actually 17. On the play.
That's how I measure 13.
So not something that they had planned there, but boy, sometimes those can give you a shot in the arm as Pirates get the first down into Armstrong territory. Scott is back in there now as the single setback behind Tanner. The toss to Scott, got around the first man, now stepping up into the defense just inside the 40. He'll pick up 2, maybe 3 on this play.
The Scott does a nice job on this play. He gets forced right at the point of attack by a defensive lineman coming in when he's catching the pitch. But when he knows he's going to get tackled, he just lowers his shoulders and gets a couple of yards. There wasn't a lot to be gained there. But if he's out there dancing around, he's probably going to take a bigger hit than he delivers.
Armstrong's been doing a pretty good job on him, especially of late here. A lot of 2s and 3s. Hand off to Scott here, and he's pushed back, trying to get away, and just too many bodies coming, and they finally drop him. Fought through some tackles. Ethan Carpenter, though, making the play. The bad news for Scott is that he kept going backward, and going to have a huge loss on that one as he'll lose about 13.
Yeah, and this is too bad because he's just about breaking free 2 or 3 times, and it's hard to tell me. He's just keeping his legs going and taking shot after shot.
And I think the officials ruling correctly too that it was by his own. He wasn't driven back.
Right.
He was fighting to get away, so that all that lost yardage counts. Here is Tanner going deep down the sidelines, got a man, and he drops it. Arnedum Korda not able to haul that one in. That one could have been 6 or at the very least a huge gainer.
And that was a nice ball by Jake Tanner. He puts it right out there, and a little bit of alligator arm by the receiver, and didn't quite reach out to grab it. That's a tough one. But when the ball's laid out there, you want your receivers to stretch out to get it, run to catch the football. Let's see if they have that fake punt on again.
Yeah, it worked well last time, but the element of surprise would be gone this time, although I think last time was certainly not by design. It's a good snap. Madsen gets the kick away. End over end kick. Morris not going to range over and try and get it. It takes a pretty good Armstrong bounce, actually, straight sideways, and will go out of bounds at the 19-yard line. About a 34-yard punt
Armstrong
there.
kind of dodges a bullet there because that third down play could have been huge. And they're going to get the ball in not horrible, not great field position, but at least they've got the ball back. Their defense is, this is what Coach Frizzell was saying. If we can manage the defense, we think we'll be okay. Now, so far they've managed the defense all right. They just need to find themselves offensively a little bit.
Yeah, in the film room, that is not going to be a popular one with the secondary coaches, even though it ended up as an incompletion because of the drop. He was wide open. Frizzell throwing it up deep for Getchie down the sideline and almost hauled it in one-handed, but good coverage out there by Hooker, and it falls incomplete. That's a tough ball to get in there.
It is, especially with the defender. Defender's playing pretty good position. Hooker does a nice job of staying between the quarterback and the receiver, which means the quarterback's got to try to drop it right over the defender, and that's a tough one. That would have been a tough one-handed catch for Getchie to try to make.
Frizzell with a rush coming, throws into traffic, and he somehow got that one complete there to Josh Malcolm for a very minimal gain of about 2. That was a lot of work for a 2-yard gain there as Malcolm held on to it despite getting hit immediately.
Here we see the quick in and out, clear by the 2 outside receivers, and quick out route by the inside guy, but well defended.
Howard, though, needs to be told he needs to tackle too, not just try and break it up. He kind of let it go like it was touch football or something. There's Frizzell throwing on the run to Jones, and he'll be stopped well short of the first down as the Pirates come up with another solid defensive stop there, a gain of about 5, but they needed a lot more than that.
And that's a pretty nice defensive sequence for Park Center. They do a good job of covering the passes that were completed and putting some pressure on Quinn Frizzell to make sure that he gets rid of the ball in an uncomfortable fashion.
Marcus Sumo with a nice tackle there for Park Center. Hooker waiting deep. Getchie is the punter. First punt of the game for him, and like Jones the other way, or Morris, I'm sorry, the other way, he's not going to go out and try and field that one. That's a ball that both of those last 2, I would say, you really got to try and get to.
Yeah.
You don't want to, count on that bounce going your way.
No, and as a coach, you want to tell your guy, get to the ball as quickly as you can, make the catch. We really want the ball not to bounce around because we don't know where it's going to end up. Sometimes that thing can hit and take off and go 20 yards, and if you don't field it.
3-0, Armstrong leading Park Center on a field goal early in the second quarter by Michael Elder. Northwest Suburban Conference football here live on 12 Sports if you're watching Friday night, the 28th. Tanner going with the handoff. Ogunti falls forward there. He was hit pretty early, but he struggles all the way out to the 42-yard line, so give him 7 on that play.
It's a pretty nice gain for Ogunti as he tries to break a tackle, keeps his feet moving.
Working him in some too. The Scots had a lot of carries. Scott's been nicked up a little bit too, so handoff there. Run blitz didn't work. Ogunti broke the first tackle, but then just could not get away from the rest. And another nice stop. He's had quite a few tonight by Ethan Carpenter, wrapping up solidly here, 44 in white. First tackle didn't get him, but then
no wrap up.
No gain on that play. So 3rd down coming up here for Park Center, 3rd and a long 3. Tanner has gone the distance at quarterback. Parker Miller has played some at that spot this year for the Pirates too, but so far they stuck with Tanner. Tanner dropping now. He's going to run. Quarterback draw, and he is not going to make it, and not even close, as he is wrapped up there by Jamal Sanders. And I don't think Sanders was the only one that was in a spot to get him there either. It'll be a loss of about a yard on this. It looks like a quarterback draw all the way.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a quarterback draw. And he takes a pretty good shot right there, right between the 1 and the 0.
A little injury there from one of the linemen for the Pirates there. Looks like Alex Winkleman. He comes off under his own power, but a little bit banged up.
3:16 in the half, and we're 4th and 4. Looks like Coach Foggy's thinking we might give a 4th down play a shot here.
Wonder if they might try and draw him offside.
A little bit of a what we call no call or no play.
Would be quite a gamble here to go for it. I'd be surprised if they do. Oh, how can that happen if you're Armstrong?
That was just like Park Center scripted it. We'll line up and we'll make some loud noises, and one of those guys will jump off and give us a first down.
And that's why you're 0-4. Plays like that.
Can happen. Yeah, that can happen, and that's where it's just a matter of game sense, knowing what the down and distance situation is, and playing smart football.
So out to the 46, a first down for the Pirates. Get it via penalty there. Tanner tossing it back to Scott. Cuts inside the first guy and then dragged down just shy of midfield at about the 49. Give him 3 on that one.
Here we see the toss sweep again. And Scott doing a good job. He breaks tackles. Guys aren't going to bring him down just by reaching and grabbing at his leg. But he's hitting on a lot of 2 and 3 yard gains right now, and you need to get a little bit more, particularly on first down. This is where I think you have an opportunity on first down to run a play action pass. Nobody in the defense is moving until they know whether Scott has the ball or not.
Scott takes a handoff, a flag down on this play. It's got near the first down, but not quite there, and it looks like we might have perhaps a hold coming up here again on the Pirates. No, we're going to be a face mask against Park Center.
That's going to be a big one.
So face mask on the offensive
player
here.
Look.
No. Wait a minute. Did he maybe signal the wrong way? No.
I don't know. We didn't see the.
It looked like a face mask on the tackler there.
Yeah.
But must have been another one before that, maybe. Oh, interesting.
And it was only a 5 yarder, so he must have been just a hand, more like a hand to the face, not a true face mask grab.
Tanner dropping to throw over the middle, and it is complete. Joe Davis hauls it in, and it'll be a first down here for Park Center. Davis has really shown an ability to haul him in traffic.
Yes, he has. And he makes a nice catch here. He goes up, uses all of his 5 feet 6 inches to go up and get that ball. Makes a catch knowing he's going to get hit right away. But another Park Center first down. Davis has done a nice job tonight. He's really made several nice catches.
Tanner looking to throw, and it is complete, and right back to Davis, and it will be enough for a first down. I'm sorry, not Davis this time. It's Corda who had that earlier drop, so good to see him get a positive gainer there.
Yeah, nice 11-yard reception there, and that's one of the few times that Park Center's actually thrown the ball on first down.
And they're going to go to the air again, but Tanner's pass short in the flat.
That's probably just as well, because there were two or three Armstrong guys right out there ready to make the play.
So a second down as the teams get a chance to regroup a little bit here, and second down and 10, down to 1:05 to go. Park Center trying to put a drive together and take the lead here, trailing it 3-0 against Armstrong a little before halftime. Tanner will go to the air again, and that one up too high and over Red's head.
Yeah, that was quite high.
So 3rd and 10 here for the Pirates. Well, here's a spot where you'd like to at least get part of it. Not, you don't want to have another incompletion if at all possible. Tanner rolling right, throws complete to Korda. He's dragged backward, but he will, as I suggested they needed to do, get at least part of it as he's down to about the 18. Give him 7, 45 seconds to go and counting.
So we get a good look at the sprint out to the right. Tanner gets the ball off in good order. Nice catch by Korda. Good tackle on the defense to not give up yards after the catch.
Yep, Christopher Haugen coming up to wrap him up. And now they're discussing, it's going to be a 4th down play coming up here, but I think Park Center is going to request a timeout, yes.
Right.
Well, it looks like they might be lining up to try and get a tying field goal here. Yeah, Chris Madsen's on the field, and he got his holder, Parker Miller, trying to get things set up. This would be a pretty lengthy one, looking at about a 37-yard field goal try.
I'm wondering, it's really not that far. It's 4 yards, 4th and 4. Maybe you just don't have confidence in 13 seconds being able to make the play, but.
Or do have a fair amount of confidence in your kicker.
Yeah.
Perhaps too. The other thing is, if you get the first down, you might still run out of time. Potentially, but.
Right. They've had a couple of kids make nice catches here on this drive.
So this will be a 37-yard attempt here if it indeed is a kick and not a fake here. Madsen trying to see if he can even things up here for the Pirates. A little bit of a high snap, and it is blocked. Giving up his body there was Mutunda, and now the Falcons come out of there with it. The race is on, and Madsen able to get back and push Haugen out of bounds. Now Armstrong, though, is going to run out of time, so it was either get all the way or don't. But you see the snap was kind of a high floater, and it snuffed out. Getting there at the same time was Mutunda to block that one.
And Haugen does a nice job of being heads up, picking up the ball. He's got a blocker in front of him.
Good thing Madsen was alert there and hustling back, too.
Absolutely.
He really saves their bacon right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have come to the halfway point in this one, and the only scoring coming via the field goal, and Armstrong getting it, and Park Center attempting to tie it up on that what turned out to be the last play of the first half, but it didn't quite work out that way after the block. Interesting first half of football, and we are going to get the thoughts of the visiting coach here first as Joe Molina's down with Dave Frizzell.
All right, thanks, Jay. Coach, the play ends a little bit crazy there. Get that big block field goal. That preserves the lead. What do you think of that play?
Well, it was a great effort play by Glory, and then Chris was very smart to pick the ball up. Those are things we talk about, that those obscure rules that you're not sure if you should pick it up or not, and so it was good effort. It was just too bad we didn't have a couple seconds left in the half.
The onside kick to start the game, is that something you saw on film or just a move to get up here early?
It was not planned. He was supposed to squib it, and he mishit the ball, and so we were very fortunate to recover it like we did.
Okay, overall offense put up 3 points in that first half. Defense comes away with a shutout in the first half. How are your feelings on the game so far?
Well, defensively we're playing well. We're doing a nice job of containing number 5. He's definitely their best player. Offensively, very disappointing with the turnover on the first drive and then getting stopped in the 1 on the second drive. And you know, we've left a lot of points on the board here in the first half, and that's going to come back to haunt us if we don't convert on some of these drives in the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck the second half. All right, so there you have it right there. Armstrong with a 3-0 lead here at Park Center, but feeling that they left some points on the board. We'll be right back with first half highlights and stats. You're watching 12 Sports.
where you live. Life in the oceans depends on you. Do your part to keep them clean. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Welcome back here to Park Center High School, along with Phil Humstock and Joe Molina. I'm Jay Wilcox. Armstrong leading the Pirates 3-0 here at halftime of this homecoming game for Park Center, while the Pirates boys soccer team definitely having a great fall season so far. And on our Sports Jam show, our weekly half-hour sports show on Channel 12, John Jacobson had a chance to catch up with a guy who's having a dynamite season for the Pirates, Francis Caroma. And here's a look at John's story.
He's a special talent on a team enjoying a special season. Park Center's number 14, Francis Caroma, is something else to watch.
He does things on a bad day I'll never be able to do on a good day. He does some things on the field where I just think give up the ball, and he'll keep it, and he'll walk through 5 guys, and he'll put the ball in the net, and everybody I think looks at the field saying, how the heck did that just happen?
Francis is the Pirates' leading scorer this fall, but he puts the team first. The goals he's racked up are sometimes show-stopping, and maybe even more than he expected before the season.
I was just thinking about taking one game at a time and doing the best I could to help my team win any game. It really didn't matter to me because at the end of the day, it's our team that matters. It's not me. It's the entire team that I'm looking forward to.
The Pirates are ranked 5th in the state in Coach Sean McNattan's first season as head coach. The program has struggled in recent years, so the recognition that boys soccer is getting around school is nice.
Caroma's alone and he scores.
It's very good because everybody talk about it in school and people start noticing, and we start having people coming out and supporting us, and it's just being a real good feeling to it. It's very good.
Francis is a native of Sierra Leone on Africa's west coast. His mother moved the family to Minnesota in 2002. At the end of his home country's 11-year civil war.
My mom just wanted a better future for us, so she decided that we should come here and continue our education here and try to be successful here.
The Civil War cost thousands in Sierra Leone to lose their lives, including Francis's father, a civilian casualty who died when Francis was very young.
I have like a little bit of memory of him. Like, my most favorite memory of him is when at night I always sit with him and watching the sky and watching the star at night and sitting on his lap. That was the best memory of them all for me.
His father would no doubt be proud that his youngest son has aspirations beyond high school and beyond soccer. Francis is an outstanding math student whose goal in college is to earn a degree in accounting. He's in his second year of Park Center's IB math program.
I really love math, and I think that accounting is one of the best suits for me because there I can use more of my math skills than anywhere else. And it's just, I love working with numbers. It's more fun than reading or any other subjects for me.
10 years after moving 5,300 miles from home, Francis Caroma laughs and admits he's still not a big fan of Minnesota winters, but he's thankful for ending up in Brooklyn Park.
I mean, I'm glad. I met some fantastic people, and I go to a real good school that I really love, and I'll never change this experience because it taught me a lot of lessons here, and I really love every minute of it.
And Corda Karoma, I should say, is certainly having a great season. I'm seeing Barney Koda on the field right now as the homecoming royalty being introduced here at Park Center. It is a 3-0 Armstrong lead here at halftime. We will be back with our first half highlights and then the second half of football coming up here on 12 Sports.
No matter where you live, life in the oceans depends on you. Do your part to keep them clean. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
The recession took a toll on jobs, but some manufacturers in Brooklyn Park say they can't find enough qualified workers.
One of the largest World War I memorials in the country gets a fresh new look in Robbinsdale.
The Maple Grove hockey team scored a big win over Benilde St. Margaret's. It's the second time the Crimson...
After 34 years in the same route, a Plymouth mail carrier says goodbye.
Discover your neighborhood news.
And stories you can only see here.
Discover 12 News.
To smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freaked out life. Nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
The Jolly Roger flying high here at Park Center's Pride Stadium as the Pirates trailing Armstrong 3-0 in a pretty defensive first half of football. We'll look at some first half highlights for you right now. Starting out with what we learned from Coach Frizzell was not a planned onside kick. It was meant to be a squib kick that instead turned into a recovery for the Falcons, but they ended up turning it over. Here later on, they get a nice gainer here on the pass completion to Jones. And here's the only points of the half. Michael Elder drilling a 26-yard field goal early second quarter for Armstrong. They did a good job overall. Certainly great effort here by Scott, but he ended up losing big yardage on that play. They started to throw the ball fairly well later in that second quarter, including that one to Korda, but unable to come up with points out of it because of this play. A little bit of a high snap, and then the field goal was blocked by Mutanda and picked up by Haugen, and really only the kicker Madsen was the only guy to save a touchdown here. Otherwise Armstrong would have ended the half in style on that return. As we get a look at the totals for that first half, pretty even overall. Slight edge Armstrong in terms of total yardage and first downs, but overall pretty even first half. Some good things offensively, but mostly defense for these teams. We will take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll hear from Coach Foggy, and then have our second half of football coming your way on 12 Sports.
So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part. New research tells us that just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
An 18-year-old has been charged with a shooting that critically injured another person.
Last week, one of the vehicles disappeared from this lot in plain sight. Ultimate goal is to develop an app that gives the visually impaired turn-by-turn directions.
Event organizers say many of the fences here were about 20 years old and were in need of replacing.
Hits this one well out to left field, and that one's going to be in for a hit. It bounces to the fence. A run scores.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris.
I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
To save your vision in the years ahead, call your eye doctor for a comprehensive eye exam today. Then call 1-800-437-2423 or log on to seeabettertomorrow.org to learn about glaucoma and macular degeneration.
I just want to see more of the things I love.
Welcome back to Park Center. Let's go down to the field level with Joe Moline and Coach Foggy.
Thanks, Jay. Coach, you know, that first half, you end up not being able to get on the football on the kickoff, but you don't give up any points in that drive. You get a nice defensive turnover, and you also had a nice defensive stand. 3 points on the board for your opposition. Pretty good defensive first half.
It is. I think we're just basically hurting ourselves on the offensive side of the ball by not having some drop passes. But both defenses are playing pretty well, so we just got to come out, make some plays on offense, and put some points on the board.
Offensively, no points to show for it, but you seem to be really encouraging with the quarterback play. You were really positive every time he came to the sidelines.
Yeah, Jake's doing a great job. I mean, he's been improving every week, and this has been his best passing first half we've had all year. So we just got to get the guys and make some plays for him. But I think the main thing is we got to get our running game going.
And is that going to take the offensive line to get out the ball a little bit better? Is that what you think? Your running back's a big kid. He's doing his job, right?
He is, and we're just not holding our initial blocks. And so we got to do a better job up front. Our guys got to be a little more physical and get Antoine and get Julius some running lanes, and so those guys can break a good one.
All right, best of luck, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, there you heard it, Park Center. Down by 3 points. That's their plan to get back in the game, get the running game. Let's go back up to you, Jay.
Thank you very much, Joe and Coach Foggy, as these both coaches taking the time to talk with us and being pretty honest about things too. And I think, you know, a lot of what they had to say is what we felt too, Bill.
Absolutely. You know, you have an idea when you put your game plan together. You have an idea of what we think we can do. The challenge is sometimes what you think you can do isn't what you actually can do. And I think in this case, both teams have gotten themselves into pretty good position. I think they're capable of doing what they thought they could do and what they want to do. It's just a matter of getting the execution completed. It's like Coach Foggy said, with their running game, they're just a half a block away on many plays from springing Scott for bigger plays. So if if they can get a good defensive effort to start the half, get a 3 and out, and not give up any points, and they can actually get the ball in decent field position, they mix their play calling up, they should be okay. By the same token, Armstrong, they just need to have a little more consistency. They've run the ball pretty good a couple of plays. They've thrown the ball well a few plays, but those plays have been disjointed. They've also been mixed up with a couple of incompletions and the one fumble and things like that, and those things tend to disrupt your offense more than you think, particularly when your offense has been struggling throughout the whole season. You want to develop some consistency. So for both of these teams, if they can get off and doing what they thought they could do well and actually execute it, it's going to continue to be an interesting game, but maybe we'll see some other points scored.
I think it's something that both these coaches are primarily offensive coaches, so they were kind of disappointed with that particular side that they work with. But it hasn't been many games where they've come to halftime and been able to say that our D has played as well as they have. So they got to feel good about that.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I would always make the argument that, you know, if your defense is playing well, you want to really have them go after it. I mean, this is, you know, if this ends up being a 3-0 game, both teams would end up saying, well, geez, we played pretty well defensively. And that's what we would like to have. Because if you're giving up points, it doesn't work. If you're not giving up points, you got a chance.
We'll take a quick timeout and come back with our second half kickoff. We are at Park Center High School. Armstrong leading the Pirates 3-0 here on homecoming night for Park Center.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Beautiful night here in Brooklyn Park as we get set for the second half of football. Park Center will be kicking off here. Armstrong gets the football to start the second half. Carter Bielman waiting back deep here for the Falcons. And it will be Madsen kicking off. Madsen, as we saw at the end of that first half. Now, okay, disappointing that they didn't make a field goal because it got blocked, but his hustle and getting back, cutting off the return man, kept that from being a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Driving it toward the sideline. Bielman trying to find it and does now finally at the 4. Makes, well, no, he didn't quite make one man miss as he was tripped up there by Danye Brown. His knee touched down. And I think they maybe didn't expect that kick to go as deep. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd only have one man back there to cover the whole width of the field.
Yeah, because then you give the opposition, the kicking team, you give them 2 corners to kick the ball to, and if you get the ball bouncing around, like we said, and in that instance, the ball went deeper than they anticipated, bounced around, he had to wait for it, and then he was nailed right there at the 12-yard line. That's good field position for Park Center. Now they've got to come up and get their defense strapped up here and take some things away.
Armstrong starting out of an I formation here. Pitch back and jumping on the back there is Robert Johnson as he brings down Ethan Carpenter, who is getting his first touch offensively. He's been playing out there on D. Got 6 on that play before you see it is. Robert Johnson went for a ride there. Just hopped on his back. Second down here. Frizzell turns and hands off. Right back it goes to Carpenter, makes a little cut. And he's into the secondary and finally driven out of bounds around the 40-yard line.
That's a nice run right there. Hits the seam very nicely, gets a good block at the point of attack, makes one guy miss, makes 2 guys miss.
What a 21-yarder there for the Falcons. They've come out with a different look with Frizzell under center rather than out of the gun and 2 backs and I set. They look like they say, okay, here's how we're going to get our run game going a little bit.
2 backs and a tight end with a slot and a receiver on the other end.
Yeah, we got movement up front there on the left side of that Armstrong offensive line there, as it's actually Jones who was up in a tight end position there who will be called for the penalty. So 1st and 15 now for the Falcons as they move back to their 34-yard line. Frizzell turns, tosses it back again to Carpenter. And Holly Lewis drags him down. He'll get about 5 on that carry, though. Carpenter, a little different back. He's about 5'11", 190. He looks a little bigger than that even, really. He's pretty solidly built.
And he does a good job of turning up behind the block. Sharon Holly Lewis covers a lot of ground from that inside linebacker spot, but you got to have more than one guy making plays to stop an offense. It's 2nd and 9 here. And again, toss sweep.
Right back to Carpenter they come. Dragging a tackler with him there as Emmanuel Thompson was along for the ride a little bit there. He will pick up about 7, maybe 8 on this play.
It's a pretty nice gain. It turns out to be a pretty nice gain. It looked like it was going to be a 3 or 4 yard gain, and then right before he came down, he broke a tackle and kept his legs going and powered out a couple more yards.
So 3rd down and a long 2, right back to Carpenter, and met at midfield, though it looks like he should have enough for the 1st down. They stood him up pretty well, but it will be a 1st down out to midfield. Needed the 49. He got right to the 50.
And here we see pretty good job right there. Fake to the fullback to the left side, give to the tailback on the right side. And this is a very different look than what we saw from Armstrong in the 1st half. Park Center's going to have to adjust quickly to this here now.
Frizzell turns this time, gives it to the fullback. And that'll be another about 5-yard pickup there as Wilson Curtis on the handle there for, that was a flag down on the play though, way at the top.
It's going to be an encroachment of some variety. Okay, false start. We have a nice 5-yard run, and that gets negated. Of course, that play actually never happened because that's a false start. That's a dead ball foul. Why they didn't whistle it dead, I do not know.
Might have had something different, an illegal formation or something, and might have been the same signal.
Yep.
There's the give to Carpenter, and there's a huge hole up the middle. Carpenter then just tripped up as Isaiah Brooks Malone clips his heels, but he's going to have enough for the 1st down. Wow, 15-yard gain. He has come off the bench. Well, I shouldn't say off the bench entirely. He was playing defense, but come off. Look at that hole, though.
Yes, he gets a nice hole to run through. He could drive a bus through that hole. And that's exactly what Armstrong wanted to be able to do. It's what Coach Frizzell talked about.
Right back to Carpenter it goes. This time stacked up, driven down. Gagne got there first, and Adam Burge coming in to finish him off. And very minimal gain that time. Well, maybe 2. So 2nd down and 8 coming up. Falcons putting together a nice march here. Early 2nd half. Play action now, and Frizzell rolling out to his left. Throws on the run, and Jones not able to hang on to that one. Park Center's had a little case of the drops, and this time Armstrong, same deal. Looked like I'm not sure if he would have had the 1st down, but he at least would have come close.
Been pretty close. It's pretty well handled by the play action. Nice throw. Just not handled by the receiver.
So 3rd down and long. They go to Carpenter again on the handoff. Weaving his way for the 1st down inside the 30. Doesn't look like he's necessarily hitting these holes that quickly or anything, just kind of picking his way through. And I think this change in style has really kind of thrown Park Center for a loop.
And the offensive line's coming off the ball a little firmer. you get a good lead block by Wilson Curtis, and it makes a difference. This is where the linebackers have to be very disciplined. They've got to get in and make their plays.
This time they do a little better job. Holly Lewis dragging him down. But still about 3 on that carry for Carpenter. He's already carried it 9 times on this drive, Bill.
And he's probably got close to 60 yards. 50 yards anyway.
Yeah, over 70 actually.
Wow.
Frizzell rolling right, throws on the run, got Bielman, and he takes a hard hit there from Isaiah Brooks Malone, but he hangs on, and he'll be down to the 16-yard line, and another first down, a gain of about 11.
This is a very nice sequence for Armstrong. They've come out, as we've said 3 or 4 times, they've come out with a different look. Play action pass is the same thing they ran to the other side that Jones dropped. Bielman makes a nice catch, takes a pretty good hit.
Here's Carpenter getting to the outside, cuts it back. Carpenter, strong legs, and he is going to go in for the touchdown. A little secret weapon here, playing D in the first half, and Carpenter coming up with the touchdown run here of 16 yards.
And a very nice change of pace, an 89-yard, 88-yard drive, and what about 12 or 13 plays, 14 plays for Armstrong. That's a very nice sustained drive, long distance for the touchdown.
Elder on for the extra point kick, and his try is no good, wide to the right. But a nice drive nonetheless for Armstrong with 6:24 to go in the third. It is 9-0 Falcons.
Here we see the toss sweep. Carpenter does a lot of this, makes 1, 2, 3, 4 guys miss as he gets into the end zone. You can see that he's a pretty strong runner. He's got good strong legs and pretty good upper body as people bounced off of him.
Just what the doctor ordered if you're Armstrong, and interesting the way they did it, virtually all on the ground. They had the one completion to Bielman, and they're a team that has thrown the ball a lot, but still feeling that they needed to do a better job of establishing that run, and they came out and kind of had that mindset that we're going to get right after it.
Absolutely, and their offensive line got off the ball well. They got some good blocks at the point of attack, and their running backs were able to get into the linebacker zone on almost every play.
Well, Carpenter had carried the ball 5 times all year, according to the stats we had, and on that drive, he carried it 10 times.
So he more than doubled his production on the season in one drive.
And that ball tipped on the way back, picked up by Patrick Kola here for Park Center and out over the 35. Probably not an ideal play by trying to jump up by the first wave and try and grab that one when it's over your head. You know there's somebody else back there that's waiting to catch this, and you see it's kind of knocked down there by Ogunti.
And the up guys, their job is to make a block and only handle the ball when it's in front of them. Ogunti actually does a pretty good job of making a block.
Yeah, it didn't turn out too badly for them, all things considered, though. They get it out to 36.
Yep. Not bad field position.
Well, you heard Coach Foggy was pretty happy with the way Tanner threw that ball in the first half. 6 out of 10 through the air. Davis, his primary receiver, he had 3 catches for 43 yards. And Armstrong getting a little antsy. Looks like it'll be a defensive penalty offside against the Falcons.
That's the second time that they've had a encroachment call. The first one was on fourth and about 4.
Pirates, early on it looked like Scott was going to do some things, but later in that half they really hemmed him in. They go to Antoine Scott here, and he comes out running hard, and he will pick up the first down. It was 1st and 5, and he gained about 7. So first down for the Pirates as they try and answer. You know, occasionally, Bill, you see a game where there's a lot of D and a lot of D, and then one team breaks out, and then maybe it'll kind of open things up a little bit, and Pirates will be able to answer with a drive of their own. At least that's what they're hoping and planning for here. Back to Scott it goes.
You know, and Scott's one of those guys that, as we see, he's gotten 2 carries of 7 and about 5 or 6 here now in the second one. He gets tougher to tackle as he goes on because he's a physical running back. So if they can get him so he's averaging 4 or 5 yards at a crack, it's going to put a lot of pressure on that Armstrong defense because they're going to tire out getting in and banging him.
Hand off back to Scott it goes, and some running room, and he made a nice cut there as well, and he'll have the first down with ease. Picked up 10 more, and we heard Dave Frizzell, the Armstrong coach, who of course has studied the Pirates on tape to prepare for this one, calling Scott clearly their best player.
Right. If the Pirate offensive line just gets off the ball a little bit, he's going to find the seams and get going.
Toss back to Scott this time, and he takes off, and down the sideline, out of bounds he goes. Let's see where they'll mark it, at about the 17-yard line. Going to get about 18 more yards. We do have a Pirate injured on the play. Looks to me, too, like Bill Scott might have been told at halftime, too, to, you know, there's not always going to be a big hole. Maybe hit it harder immediately. He was at times, not that he didn't run well, but at times maybe a little too cautious or patient.
He was looking for a place to run rather than just running. And with a big, strong running back like that that's got decent speed, usually you tell the guy, just run. Things will happen around you that'll make those things. If you wait for the hole to open, it's going to close when you get there. And you know, that's where you just need to take off running. That's
Sharon Holly-Lewis was a little bit nicked up. He's been a force tonight for them on both sides of the football. And
yeah, he's played well. He's a good-sized lad too, at 6'1", 230 pounds. Linebacker, offensive lineman type.
So the Pirates looking good as they try and answer that Armstrong touchdown drive. They've got the football just outside the 17-yard line of Armstrong. First down and 10. Their line, much like Armstrong's on their drive, has played much better to start the second half here. And Scott has been running very hard. They turn and pitch it out to Scott. And he is brought down around the 15, maybe a little bit inside. So give him 4 yards on that gain.
And here again, arm tackles are not going to bring Antoine Scott down. He's down to the 14-yard line, so a gain of about 4.
Pirates trailing it by 9, but trying to get themselves on the board. Tanner dropping to throw. Pass is tipped and incomplete as he was looking to go to Clayton Red. And those are the kind that you have a sigh of relief if you're the offense that it doesn't get picked, because once it gets tipped like this, you're kind of worried about what's going to happen from there, but it falls to the turf.
Ball can easily go right into a linebacker's hands. That's the second one that's been tipped. I'd like to see more of a play action pass in that situation rather than just a straight drop back.
They go back to the ground, and Scott brought down on the play there by Thayer, and also Sanders was hanging on down low.
Very close to a first down, but still a little bit short as we see Antoine Scott coming right at us here. Nice run, but now we're 4th and 2. This is where you want to get off on the ball and get going right now.
Big play here. They go back to Scott. He will have the first down, and now almost to the end zone. Just spun down to the turf there by Casisto, but first down, goal to go coming up for the Pirates.
And a nice job by the left guard and tackle. I think the tackle is Holly Lewis, and they really sealed that inside off, so there was no flow from the inside of the defense. And Antoine Scott's able to get the ball very close to the end zone.
And this time he will get it into the end zone. Touchdown Pirates as Scott finishes off the drive with a 2-yard run. So it was the Carpenter show on the ground for the Falcons, and Scott only too happy to answer as he had an impressive march there with their O-line leading the way, and they converted on that 4th down and then punch it in.
Did he carry the ball on every down that series? I think he did.
Other than the pass that was tipped.
Pass, yeah. Had one incomplete pass and everything else was a run.
Madsen on to attempt the extra point, and his kick is up and it is good. So they're within 2 now, 9-7 our score. 3:33 to play in the 3rd. Courtesy of this finishing play here to see they opened up a nice gap or drove some people back.
You'll see that Sharon Holly-Lewis had his guy into the end zone, and so did the guard, number 58, Marcus Sumo. Both of those guys pushed their guys back into the end zone. So really, Antoine Scott, all he had to do is just follow those 2 guys and get his feet into the end zone. There it was. That was a very nice sequence. Now we've had really good defenses by both teams in the first half, and now one possession by each team in the 3rd quarter, and each team has scored a touchdown, mainly keeping the ball on the ground.
I wonder if the offensive line coaches for these 2 teams kind of had their guys and said, you know, you kind of got whipped in that first half as a group. Let's go out and do something, because it sure seemed like they both performed a lot better on that drive and start the second half.
And certainly Park Center's guys were getting off the ball. But in the first half on the running plays, they were hardly getting off the line of scrimmage. But here in this second half drive, they really did a nice job of getting their feet going and getting off the line of scrimmage.
Madsen will kick it off. Bielman waiting back deep here for the Falcons. Kicks it high, straight up the middle. Short kick out to the 14, and Bielman trying to go out to the right side. Flag is down. Bielman keeps the legs driving, and did the ball come loose at the end? No, looks like not. And see, this would be an interesting penalty call here. Happened fairly early in the play. You'd have to think it would be
it's hard to have
a block in the back.
A block in the back, or because it's almost impossible to hold.
Yep.
It's almost impossible to have an offside on the receiving team. The way the rules are now, it's virtually impossible for the receiving team to have an offside. So the foul came at about the 30-yard line. So that's going to take it all the way back to the 20. So that in effect is almost a 35-yard penalty. The ball was almost out to midfield, taking it all the way back to the 20. So that's a 35, 36-yard penalty right there.
Well, and the official's flag wound up about the 45, but he was seeing it farther back. So that one, it didn't seem as though it was going to be as bad for Armstrong, but when they said the actual foul occurred at the 30, that pushes him back to the 20. So big change in field position here. See if they just come out with the hammer again running the football. It's not Carpenter this time. It's a handoff going to Burns back in there as they continue to run out of the I formation here to start this second half, and Burns will pick up 3. He carried the ball a couple times early for 15 yards and then hadn't really been in there much since, but he is in there behind Wilson Curtis now. This time Frizzell looking to throw as he rolls to his left, throwing it up for grabs on the run and intercepted. Picked off by Emmanuel Thompson. I knew that was going to be a hard ball to throw that far on the run. But Thompson did a good job of getting back to it. Obviously, he's given up a lot of size there to Getchy, but he makes the pick and a big play for the Pirates.
Yeah, that is a huge play for Park Center. Emmanuel Thompson does a nice job of getting back and playing the ball. Getchy has a hard time coming back for that because he's got to get stopped and get back to it, where Thompson actually had the inside line because the ball was just a little bit underthrown.
See, Getchy was behind him a little bit, but that's a tough ball to try and get your hips turned and throw it that deep. Pitch out going to Scott. Oh, and he runs into a tackler there. Boy, Casisto had great timing in terms of when he got off his block. I think he really surprised the ball carrier Scott that all of a sudden he was there in his face.
Absolutely. It still results in a short gain, but Casisto makes a very nice play on that toss sweep. Because once Antoine Scott gets his hips and shoulders turned upfield, he's a tough runner.
Park Center trailing 9-7, but they get the ball back and trying to get a little march going. Out to Scott on the outside and dragging a tackler with him there as a stop made by Xavier Clark.
Another gain of about 5. This little toss sweep is really nice here. Most of the time he's looking to run that inside. Nice block on the flank right there by the inside receiver, taking his man all the way to the ground. Don't see receivers do that too often, so you got to pat that guy on the back.
From the 43, they go back to Scott. Fighting his way forward, he'll have the first down. Well, we said they're blocking better, no doubt, but I also think he is running even with that extra little bit of juice here in the second half.
And those two things feed on each other, Jay. Offensive line coming off a little harder. Well, the back runs a little harder. The back runs a little harder. The offensive line blocks a little bit better. And they kind of feed on themselves that way.
So the Armstrong student section across the way there, they've got some fans with too. Handoff going to Scott. Not much doing this time as Armstrong getting to him in a hurry. Got Carpenter making some solid contact and also got some help there from Jackson Holte, who's got that Clay Matthews hair to help him on the tackle there. About a 1 yard gain, more like a half yard really. Scott's already lugged it 24 times here tonight. He'll be probably hitting that Whirlpool tub after the game tonight, although the weather certainly perfect.
Certainly conducive to somebody carrying the ball 35 or 40 times.
Winding down here toward the end of the third quarter. Tanner comes back to Scott, and he is met and drags the tackler with him, but solid job getting out there by Thayer because it really was pretty well blocked other than on him. They did a solid job of sealing the edge there.
Yes, they did. They got the flank in pretty good order. Thayer does a nice job of getting an inside-out look here and gets his shoulder right in on Scott. Scott's a very tough runner, as we've said, and he got a couple yards after the contact, but still makes it a 3rd and 5 inside the zone. And boy, they're going to run that play till they stop it.
Nice tackle going low there by Casisto there, and you'll get him short of the first down, a gain of 3, and it will bring up 4th and about 2.
And they've run that short that toss sweep 4 times in a row now, I think, and that, they're telling that's a statement. They're saying we're going to run this guy, and you're going to have to stop him, and we're going to run it until you do.
So we have come to the end of the third quarter here. A big play coming up. It'll be 4th and short for Park Center. Our score after 3. Armstrong 9, Park Center 7. The fourth quarter is up next here on 12 Sports.
So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part. New research tells us that just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
We had some good garb on those Armstrong students across the way there. They come all decked out. And here we go, 4th down and about 1.5 yards. They give to Scott, and this is going to be close. I don't think he got there. He ran over a tackler, or tried to anyway.
That spot is very close. The linesman on this side came in and gave a nice spot on the reach out at the end of the play, and it's going to be very, very close.
My initial thought was that he hadn't quite gotten enough, but that may not be correct.
If he made it, it's not by very much.
And obviously being a 4th down play, this is a pretty crucial one. And
he missed it by a link.
He did not quite make it. It'll be Armstrong football. Just short of the 1st down. As we get another look, I think it's Holte. Yes, it is. He actually kind of gets run over, but did enough to help get him down there. Got a little assistance there coming over on the other side from Thayer. So Holte stood in there. It isn't something you really enjoy getting planted on your back, but he at least stopped his momentum.
Yep.
And so a huge stop there for Armstrong. Not only stopping that series of downs, but kind of halting Park Center's momentum, at least for the time being, too. And Frizzell and company back on offense. Handoff. Here is Wilson Curtis, and nice gainer there, and he'll be into Pirate territory and pick up the 1st down.
This is where, that's a calculated risk on 4th down like that. You want to get your defense cranked right back up. Now, Armstrong's made the change again. They've gone back to their initial offensive sets, the spread, although Frizzell is in the underneath the center, but here they go running the ball. Wilson Curtis doing a nice job getting the ball upfield.
From the 41, they come right back to him here, and he will rip off about 5 more.
Very good surge by the offensive line, particularly the right side. Coming off the ball pretty well, getting hooked up and getting a good push, making Wilson Curtis's job a little bit easier.
Been an interesting sequence with backs they've had.
Right.
Burns was in there as a single setback early in the game and had a couple effective runs. Then Carpenter carried it a mere 10 times on one drive. And then now they're coming back with Curtis, who we saw some in that 1st half too. He takes the handoff here. And this time well defended by the Pirates as they got out there and did a nice job stacking things up there. Primary tackler looked like it was Sumo.
Yep.
Although it did get a gain on the play, a little more than I would have first thought.
Yeah, it looked like it was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It actually got a little bit more than a yard, but still we're third and short.
3rd down and 2 here for Armstrong. After making a 4th down stop against the Pirates. Going to throw a little flat pass out to Bielman, and he's wrapped up, got away, but then driven down to the turf as Hooker comes up to finish him off. That one didn't have much chance to succeed, even though Bielman broke that 1st tackle.
Right, we'll see a good reaction here. I think this is Thompson doing a great job of getting up and getting wrapped up. The tackle is broken, but the freshman corner, Armani Hooker coming up and making that. That's a big loss. A little bubble screen like that, you like to be able to get 4 or 5 yards minimum on that instead of losing 5 or 6. And now you're in a tough 4th down situation.
Armstrong will go for it, though, from the 38. 4th and about 7. Pass tipped and then nearly intercepted. But it will be Park Center taking over on downs either way. I mean, you wanted the interception there and you wanted to run it back, but they get the breakup of the play anyway.
Right. And we'll see that this ball was tipped a couple of times. Nice wrap up on the intended receiver, and the ball bouncing away from all of the Armstrong people.
Brooks Malone there thought he was going to have 6 going the other direction. Yep. When you see that slow, it seems like bad that he didn't catch it, but you got to keep in mind that ball was tipped not very far in front of him. It changed directions, and that makes it a harder
it's really hard. It's really hard to stay focused on the ball when that happens. And
so a stop the other way now for the Pirates, and they'll take over again on their 38. Hand off to Scott. He is wrapped up and dragged down. About a yard is all he'll get on that one, as he was met early on there, and then hanging on was the lineman Peter Bateman. Let's see. Bateman kind of got knocked down, but he stayed with it.
He stayed with it. Yeah, he kind of got bumped into the play by the offensive lineman.
So 2nd down and 9 here for the Pirates. Toss back to Scott. Shakes off the first tackler. And another. And Scott keeps the legs driving. Wow, nice run there. Finally catching up to him from behind. It was Casisto to bring him down.
Near this play looks like it's going to be bumped a couple of times. He breaks a tackle in the backfield, gets away from another defender. He finally runs out of the arms of 2 or 3 other guys, and persistency of Casisto brings that down, but not until a first down is made by good effort on the flank by the offensive blocking and very hard running by Antoine Scott.
Park Center down by 2, but into Armstrong territory. Snap drop by Tanner, and then he pays the price. Tanner tried to make something happen with it out of there, but Bateman was just waiting to lower the boom, and he knocks him down, and they'll lose about 3 on the play.
Yeah, you can't turn backwards. When that ball drops to the floor, you got to get it and go as far forward as you can. Just get your shoulders around your head. Don't let go of it a second time. I think Tanner pulled out just a very, very small fraction of a second early, but quarterback pulling out just a tiny bit early puts that ball right down.
2nd and 13 now from the 50 here for the Pirates. Tanner looking to throw, batted down. Falcons getting up and getting a piece of that one again. Let's see, was this there on the outside, or?
I don't know if it came from the line of scrimmage or line of scrimmage. It was the defensive end.
I think it might have been Sanders.
Yeah, that was
have a
Jamal
timeout
Sanders
taken here by the Pirates. Sorry, Bill.
Yep, not a problem. But, I think that one of the things that Tanner has to do is he's got to give himself a chance to get that throwing window open. That's a 3rd or 4th ball he's had tipped at the line of scrimmage, and mainly because at 5'9", he's got to get the ball. He's got to find that window right now and throw it through the window that he has. And he's had a couple of problems with that. When he gets it, it goes pretty good. But he's got to be smart enough to know that where that window is and how it can close right there at the line of scrimmage. We got 3rd and about 14 now for Park Center. I'm not sure if there's a good 3rd and 14 play, Jay. I have not seen one in a lot of years being around football.
Wouldn't totally shock me to see them hand the ball off to Scott and see if he could make something happen here.
No, they haven't run a draw. I'm not a big fan of draw and screen on 3rd down, particularly 3rd and long. But
they're going to roll out, and then Tanner throwing over the middle. Pass is tipped, incomplete. Boy, that was very close to being early contact there.
Yes, it was.
Defended by Casisto, and boy, the ball and the defender arrived just about the same time here.
Exactly, and Joe Davis has got some good hands. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Casisto making that play exactly the way it should be.
Yeah, and I think I have always kind of felt that they got a little too flag happy on plays like that in the NFL.
Yep.
They kind of let them play there, and I think that was probably a good defensive play. Madsen on to kick it. And of course, if you're the Pirates or you're the offense, you say no, no, no. But nice grab on the run this time by Morris, and now a flag down.
Yep, that one came after the return man got past the initial guy, but somebody ran right over him from behind. Going to be a block in the back, and that's going to go way back now. We get a chance to see right there.
Boy, and really unnecessary. He had already fooled him.
He was already 10 yards downfield. There's no sense in making that block. The only thing that can happen from that block is something bad, as we see right here. That's a 10-yard penalty from the point of the foul. But again, it makes a 20, 25-yard penalty out of a 10-yard penalty. That's not fun for the return team.
All the way back inside the 10. They're going to be at the 7-yard line, where now ball security becomes a big deal too.
And for most coaches, this shortens your playbook. You're not going to do something that's going to give your opponent a chance. Of course, this is where Bobby Bowden from Florida State always said, one of us is fixing to score here. Might as well be me, and he might run a play-action pass to get that ball deep.
They go back to the I formation, and Carpenter back in there handling it. He is brought down on the play by Joshua Ulay for Park Center, but a nice gainer there of 5 on that carry for Carpenter, who had all the carries on that big touchdown drive to start the second half, and they get a little breathing room too out beyond the 10 to the 12. And I would not be that surprised if they just keep handing it off until the Pirates stop them.
Why not? They scored their touchdown on that exact same type of play, running it 10, 12 times.
Handoff going to Carpenter. And I believe you were right in your signal, Bill, that the fullback got an early start, but I don't think the officials felt that same way.
I must be blind.
I sure thought he was at the very least leaning forward quite a bit.
He got a pretty good jump on the snap count.
And we will have a first down, but we also have a Pirate injured before this next play can occur.
We're at 6.5 minutes to go in the game. This is going to be a telltale sequence for both teams. If Park Center can stop and not give up a couple 3 first downs here and get the ball in decent field position, they'll have a good chance to get the ball and put the ball into good field position and get a chance to score. If Armstrong moves the ball for 4 minutes or so, even if they give it up, Park Center's going to have a hard time getting the ball all the way back upfield and able to score in that amount of time.
Certainly looks like cramps here.
Yeah.
See if we can see. It's Holly Lewis who he ends up making that tackle, and he stayed on the ground. I think he's got cramps the way they were working that foot.
Right. And he's been out there the entire half. He hasn't had a break at all. And just watching him get up and how he's moving, you know that that's a cramp. Of course,
Holly Lewis is gonna.
He's got cramp. At this point of the season, usually your cramps aren't too much of an issue, but it was a warm day today. It was nearly 80 degrees, and and when you go for almost an entire half, both ways, as hard as Holly Lewis goes, that's going to take a toll on your legs.
Well, and even though they've gotten so much better with the turf, I do think it's more likely that you're going to see cramps. We haven't done a game yet this year where there hasn't been some cramps, and I do think a little bit tougher on the calves.
I agree with you there. The turf is a little more forgiving. It's not hard, which means your legs work a little bit harder on each stride.
Toss back going to Carpenter. He cuts up hard. Brought down on the play there by Sumo, but another decent gainer there for the Falcons as he will pick up about 4. Well, in an ideal world for Armstrong, you'd use up the rest of this quarter driving the football down and scoring maybe a touchdown in the last minute would be what they would like to do here. But
or you just use the clock up. Even if you don't score, you just use up all the clock, and that makes it a narrow but still a W.
looking to throw. Flings out the little pass in the flat and complete to Curtis, and that'll be enough for a first down as they change things up on the Pirates a little bit there and get about 10 on it.
Yeah, Wilson Curtis makes a nice grab here. You'll see that he gets the ball, makes a nice one-hand grab, turns upfield, gets in pretty good position, but gets the first down. They're out over the 30-yard line, so they moved the ball out from the 7 to the 32. That's pretty good job so far on this drive.
Handoff going to Carpenter, runs into the back of a teammate there, and he'll be stopped after a 3 or 4 yard pickup there. I'll give him about 4.
Well, for some reason, with Carpenter as the tailback, Wilson as the fullback, and the play calling that we're getting, this offensive line likes to get off the ball doing these kinds of plays. We've seen it the entire half, and when they were back in their spread offense, they didn't come off the ball quite as well.
Right back to Carpenter, breaks through a tackle, and Carpenter will appear to have enough for the first down here.
Going to be very close.
No, maybe not quite. No.
No, it's just a little bit short. But again, we'll see him coming right at us. And look at the hole. There's a nice hole. Can't bring him down with an arm tackle. You got to get in and get your chest on him. You got 3 or 4 people to the ball carrier in not bad order, but it's got to be quicker. The only way Carpenter's going to be stopped is if you meet him at the line of scrimmage and stop his momentum right there.
From the 42, give us to Carpenter. He'll have the first down and keeps the legs driving out over the 45 to about the 47. So that's nice. You've good feeling for your O-line when you can be 3rd and 2 and you get 6 or so just on a off tackle play.
They're running a little bit more power. Wilson Curtis is proving to be a fairly decent blocker, and they've used up a fair amount. They've used up almost 3 minutes of the 6.5 that they had, and they're not yet to midfield.
Timeout taken here as the Pirates want to put a halt to this drive, and Armstrong getting things going. Well, they talked about coming into the night that the one thing offensively we just have not been able to run the football, and tonight that's not been the case. They've run the ball well.
And both teams have had problems with their defense and giving up a lot of points, and neither team's given up a lot of points tonight. 2 touchdowns scored in the entire game so far, and defenses I think have played fairly well. You wouldn't say that they've been lights out, but they've played pretty well. And now they're getting to the point in the game where somebody's got to step up and make a play. Defensively for Park Center, 2 or 3 guys got to step up and they just got to shut it down. For Armstrong, 2 or 3 guys got to make blocks, make a play happen, and keep the ball going so they can run the clock out.
First down Falcons from their 47. They go to Wilson Curtis here, and he will get the ball just into Pirate territory, so about a 3-yard pickup.
A little change of pace going away from Carpenter, giving the ball to the fullback. The up back, Wilson Curtis.
Closer to 4 actually on that gainer, and that clock is really Armstrong's friend right now. They're in a nice rhythm, just using up time and running that football effectively, and obviously you want to hang on to it. No Toby Gerhardt action late in the game.
You got no reason, and now they've got no reason not to do exactly what they've done except from the start of this series.
Pitch back to Carpenter. Carpenter bouncing off a hit and drives the legs forward. There is a flag down on the play, though. This one's coming back, I believe. Yeah. 2 Pirates are injured. Holly Lewis has cramps again, and Gagne is slowly making his way to his feet.
The cramps are such a problem. They don't bother you very much, but they really hurt at the moment that they tighten up, and you can't release that muscle. But we're going to get a hold here right on the flank. But you see that these good running backs Carpenter and Scott, you don't bring him down with an arm tackle. You got to get your chest on the man. You got to wrap up and keep your legs going. That's a big penalty. Driving the ball back into Armstrong territory at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, they got to
make a second and
14 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Holly Lewis is just struggling with those cramps. He's going to have to come over and off right now.
Yeah.
Frizzell looking to the bench.
Waiting for the play clock.
Handing it off to Carpenter. Carpenter spins away from a tackler and keeps on going. They're definitely ripping at the ball.
Right.
Not quite to the first down, but he's pretty close.
He got every bit of the penalty yardage back. But again, you see people not making good tackles. You get to him right there, you've got to wrap up. You know, and he breaks tackles. He's a big, strong running back. You got to get in, get your chest on him. Even if you're a 140-pounder, you got to get your chest on him, drive your legs and wrap your arms around him, and then hold on.
3rd and about 2 here for the Falcons.
I think everybody in the stadium knows where the ball is going to go.
And now Quinn Frizzell is going to use a timeout, but wait, did it occur in time? Officials are going to confer here. They're getting together to see, did he get this timeout called before what apparently would have been a delay of game, I believe. Yep, they're going to grant that timeout.
There was a flag on there right as the whistle blew. Was the umpire that threw the flag.
And the Pirates coaches are kind of wondering, say, hey, if the time ran out, the time ran out.
Yeah, and usually the back judge is the keeper of the play clock. And you can tell he gives hand signals as to how much time is left on the play clock.
After we get it all sorted out, it looks as though they're going to stick with the timeout first.
Yeah.
No penalty.
What I was saying is that whatever the flag was, they were waving it off. But what I was saying is the back judge, we don't have play clocks here in the stadium like we do in college and NFL. So what the back judge does is he raises his hand straight up when he has 10 seconds remaining in the play clock. He drops it to horizontal out from his shoulder when there's 5 seconds, and then brings his hand down inside of 5 seconds. And that lets the quarterback know when he can snap the ball, as well as looking over on the sideline. That got really close that time.
3rd and a couple. Frizzell handing it off to Carpenter. Carpenter gets to the edge, and he will have himself a first down. We've got a Pirate shaking up again here, and this one is Brooks Malone way out there.
So we've got people still on the Park Center defense not wrapping up when they try to make a tackle on Carpenter, and it just isn't going to work. We see a guy coming right there. It just doesn't work. Arm tackle doesn't work. It looks like Scott's actually in there playing as an outside backer. But that is definitely a first down. Puts Armstrong in the driver's seat with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Not enough timeouts for Park Center to really stop the ball. Unless they get a stone cold stop here, the game is going to run out.
Boy, just what the doctor ordered for Armstrong, you kind of forget that they did start way back inside the 10 on this drive. It was a little hairy situation when they first got the ball, but they've just been able to grind things out.
And grind is really, they haven't thrown one pass in this sequence.
And I wouldn't at this point.
No, why would you? You mean, right now the enemy is the clock. You want to run the clock out. You don't, and now it's just protecting the football. Park Center, I believe, has one timeout remaining. So as soon as that timeout is gone, you can let the clock run. You don't have to worry about it. You kneel down, and that's it. So Park Center's got to get them. They've got to get a stop right now.
Frizzell will hand it off. Carpenter met immediately by Scott, but he does the right thing by falling immediately.
Yep. I don't know if Park Center's got a timeout remaining or not. The clock is still running. We're inside a minute and a half.
I sure think they might have been one.
If they've got one more, if they got one more left, you take it at the end of second down. But still, you got to stop the clock. You got to get the ball back, and it just isn't going to happen, I don't think, unless there's a turnover.
Ooh, and a hard hit there as Curtis took the handoff. Sumo helping to finish him off there after he was wrapped in the rather large arms of Darrell Davis there, 6'3" and 330, but no matter. Falcons.
Now it's a matter that the clock is going to run out. It's inside of 40 seconds.
Yeah, we'll get a kneel down here.
Get a kneel down right now because you got third down, you got fourth down. It's going to be too late.
So Dave Frizzell is going to get his first victory as head coach of the Armstrong Falcons here tonight, it looks like. Quinn Frizzell will drop back and go down, and the clock is going to run down. Boy, each team getting a touchdown early in that third quarter, but that field goal that they were able to make with Elder turned out to be a pretty big one for the Falcons.
Especially since the extra point was missed. That's the difference between a 7-6 loss and a 9-7 win.
So pretty good football game here tonight. Is a lot of defense in that first half. Each team ran the ball nice and effectively in the second half.
Very much so.
But it's going to be the Falcons scoring their first win of the season, and Park Center, certainly has some things to build on from tonight, but just coming up a touch short here at the end.
You've got to build on what you did well defensively. They had some nice offensive moments, but they just didn't have enough consistency. But you definitely have something to build on. Of course, a nice win against the other guy's homecoming game. That's an emotional uplift for the Armstrong Falcons.
And they will have their homecoming next Friday night. So they are looking to build on that. We will take a timeout. We're going to hear from some Falcons with Joe Moline in just a moment here. The final in this one, 9-7 Armstrong over Park Center.
Where you live. Life in the oceans depends on you. Do your part to keep them clean. Of trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
What are you doing, dear?
My finances. Every week I divide my allowance. Some to spend, some to charity. But the first thing I do is set aside 10% to save for my future.
That's awfully grown up. Did you learn that in school?
No, Dad taught me. He said if you want something tomorrow, you have to save today. Dad's saving for retirement. I'm saving for a new bike.
Choose to save. To learn how to get started, get your free Power to Choose brochure.
He's a smart man, your father.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
The recession took a toll on jobs, but some manufacturers in Brooklyn Park say they can't find enough qualified workers.
One of the largest World War I memorials in the country gets a fresh new look in Robbinsdale.
The Maple Grove hockey team scored a big win over Benilde St. Margaret's. It's the second time the Crimson...
After 34 years in the same route, a Plymouth mail carrier says goodbye.
Discover your neighborhood news.
And stories you can only see here.
Discover 12 News.
So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part. New research tells us that just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Well, we came into this one thinking that it had a chance to be a close game, and both teams playing fairly well, and it is Armstrong coming out with their first victory of the season. Let's go down now on the field. Joe Moline with a couple of happy Falcons.
Absolutely. First one of the year. Jesse Casisto, one of the defensive stars here in today's game. The defense didn't get the shutout, but still holding Park Center to 6 points. That was big tonight.
Yeah, we just knew we had to come out hard, and offense wasn't putting up a lot of points to start, but we knew if defense could hold them, if they can't score, they can't win. So,
and it's been kind of a tough first half of the season not getting that win. What does it feel like tonight to pull off the big first victory?
We're just hoping that we can build off of this. We're hoping one win leads to a lot more, so we hope to take the momentum into Elk River next week.
And finally, when you're playing against a tough running back like you were tonight, a guy who seemed like it took about 3-4 Falcons to bring down, what's the key defensively?
We just all got to flow to the ball. We all got to get there and team tackle.
All right, congratulations and good game here tonight. We're going to meet now with who was one of the good defensive stars in the first half, and then in the second half, all of a sudden you got put in the backfield there, and things turned out pretty good for the offense. What was that like?
Oh, it was a crazy experience. I played running back as a sophomore, so I have some experience, but when they called my number, just, got to play football. That's what I did. Football.
From watching, it just seemed like you weren't really, hitting the holes hard, but you didn't have to. You were seeing the holes really well, and you were really working off your blockers.
Yeah, whenever I talk about running, I always talk about balance and vision. I think those are the two things that really matter. Power is great. I probably should have ran with more power. Probably would have helped me, but, balance and vision is what it's about.
All right, and then defensively, you also played a big key component in that. How's it going back and forth, defense and offense, when you weren't coming into this game planning to go both ways, and then you end up getting thrown into that fire in the second half?
Well, they gave me breaks either way. I played a big defensive series. They'd give me a break on offense. Played a big offensive series. They'd give me a break on defense. So I really didn't play more than I would in a regular game.
All right, you got more touches tonight than you have all season long, and you got a victory. So is it time to go back to practice tomorrow, Monday, and start asking for the ball more?
I'll see where they put me. I like to go all around the field.
All right, well, congratulations. Great victory here tonight for Armstrong, and I bet you it's especially nice to spoil someone's homecoming.
I don't know about that, but it was fun.
All right, Thanks a lot. There you have it. Ethan Carpenter, one of the star players here for tonight, really did a great job milking the clock late in the game, and then also the big touchdown, the big difference maker in this football game, had a big rush during that as well. Back up to Jay now to finish things off.
All right, thanks very much, Joe, and congratulations to the Falcons. And, some things to build on, as we said, Bill,
Absolutely.
for both these teams. Tough loss for the Pirates. They looked like for a while they might overtake Armstrong, but a couple of clutch drives there for Armstrong to start the second half and then to end the game.
Yep, absolutely, and they did exactly what they needed to do to win, and that's what matters.
And as the players said there, they've got Elk River next week. It'll be Armstrong's homecoming Friday night, the 5th of October, 7 o'clock kickoff. And it will be Park Center going to somebody else's homecoming next week. They'll be traveling to Osseo to take on their district rival on Friday. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff at Osseo's Carlton Field. That'll do it for tonight's telecast here on Channel 12. For Bill Hunstock, Joe Moline, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Once again, your final score, Armstrong 9 and Park Center 7.